Shedeur Sanders should not fall to 24 because if he falls that far, the Steelers should get him at number 21. 21. Let's go, sports. You know what, man? That is where we're going to start today. That is where we're going to start today, and we're going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Shedeur Sanders himself. Guys, you guys kind of know my philosophy of like mock drafts, right? Like a lot of the mock drafts are out there strictly just to get clicks, to get likes, to get shares, to get the people talking. But there are some people out there that are very, very, very respectable in their mock drafts. These are the people that, get paid, make a living to make their mock drafts, aka Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, right? USA Today, CBS Sports, Sports Illustrated, et cetera, right? But Lance Zierlein, he is also one of those guys. And Lance Zierlein is a mock draft that I tend to lean towards the most, right? So when I am talking about a potential mock draft of this person going here, this person going there, Lance Zierlein is usually the one that I am looking at. But in the most latest mock draft of Lance Zierlein, he has Shedeur Sanders dropping all the way down to 24th in this year's NFL draft. And at that 24th pick, he actually has the Cleveland Browns jumping back up, making a trade with the Minnesota Vikings to get Shedeur Sanders at 24. So, guys, do we think that Shedeur Sanders will drop out of the top 10? Not only drop out of the top 10, drop out of the top 15, drop out of the top 20, but drop all the way down to 2024 in this year's NFL draft. We spoke on this a couple days ago. It was a Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. This week is all kind of running together. It has been a crazy, crazy week. But I said the NFL draft for quarterbacks is like a college party. You get a bunch of drunk guys, a couple cutish girls walk in, and then all of a sudden, everybody and their dog wants that girl. Now, the next night we sober back, the next day we sober back up. We're like, whoa. And that's kind of what like the NFL draft is. Right now, all of these owners, all of these general managers, all these coaches are kind of drunk. They're kind of getting a little tipsy, getting loose at the mouth, and that Shedeur Sanders, that's a brown bag special the next day. But right now, it's starting to look a little cute. I'm getting a little excited in the pants, right? Let's go, baby. Let's go. But Lance Jeremiah, 24th. Guys, the truth is, this year's quarterback draft sucks. It is weak. It is asinine. It is at 10. It is at 12. There are really only realistically 3 quarterbacks that will go in the first round, being Cam Ward, a player that wanted to go to a bowl game strictly to just break a record, did not care about winning, sat out in the second half and watched his team lose because he sat out. A Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart, which everybody's falling in love with Jackson Dart. Reminds me a lot of old Zach Wilson from just a couple years ago, right? But let's just be honest. Everybody that is in the NFL draft, I believe it was Let's Go Sports said this on Monday, that everybody's looking for the next Jaden Daniels. Everybody's looking for that next quarterback to come in there and be a quick fix. The point of the matter is guys, that Jaden Daniels was a right pick for the right team at the right time. Now, I am not saying that Jaden Daniels would be a terrible quarterback on any other team, but he would not have led said team to the NFC Championship. He would not have led said team to a Super Bowl or maybe even the playoffs. The Washington Commanders were definitely built up for success and basically a quarterback to come in and play much like the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. The truth is, for Jaden Daniels, it was a perfect spot in Washington. But when we look at this year's mock draft, I do not see Shedeur Sanders dropping out of the top 10. Hell, I probably don't even see Shedeur Sanders dropping out of the top 5. Once Cam Ward goes off the board, and if the Cleveland Browns go somewhere besides quarterback at the 2nd overall pick, there's going to be a mad scramble to get up to number 3, potentially number 4, or number 5. There's going to be that mad scramble either by the Steelers or maybe by the Cleveland Browns to get back up there, maybe the Saints. There's going to be a group of people calling whoever owns that third overall pick, which is the Giants, right? They're going to be calling the Giants, hey, right? Every drunk guy at that college party is now so wasted And the one last semi-cute girl is like out there when really she's a brown bag special, right? She is a butterface. Everything's nice butterface. And I can't even look at her face because she's so guys, Shedeur Sanders is not going to go out of the top 10. He is not going down to 24. Lance Zierlein, I respect your hustle, man. I respect you getting in there, doing the gritty work, and letting me look at your mock draft each and every week. I like you. I respect you. But Shedeur Sanders is not going 24th, guys. What do you guys think? Will Shedeur Sanders go 24th overall to the Cleveland Browns? Actually, let's just take one step further. Will Shedeur Sanders drop out of the top 10? That is the question. Real McCoy says, with Sanders, the only thing you're getting with him is his last name. And Real McCoy, I would have been with you on this comment before last season. I would be with you on this comment before I actually sat down and watched the film of Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders led all of Big 12 in yardage and touchdowns and pass completions with a terrible offensive line. The Colorado Buffaloes, they have all the athletes, but their line is terrible. The Colorado Buffaloes had Travis Hunter, yes, had Jimmy Horn Jr., right? Had Shedeur Sanders obviously they had all the talent in the world, and he put up those numbers. The offensive line was terrible. And then if you flash back the year before that at Jackson State, his freshman and sophomore year, right? Their line was even worse. Yes, they had a couple of athletes here or there, but Shedeur Sanders is not a terrible quarterback. He has a lot of room to grow. He has a lot of flaws that need to be fixed. He has a lot of fundamentals that can be honed in, and he could be a pliable quarterback in the NFL for a very, very long time. You're getting more than just his last name. Now, you are getting his last name. You are getting that everything that comes with the primetime last name, aka Sanders, right? You are going to get all of that. But at the same time, sex sells. Shedeur Sanders right now is sexy. New York is looking for that sexy guy. Cleveland's looking for that sexy guy. The Dallas Cowboys are looking for that sexy guy, even though they got one. And Joe Milton would slow it down, but right. But slow it down, but let's just sell it. Let's Go Sports says, I don't necessarily know if I want Shedeur Sanders, but we need to win now, and I think he can develop and give us a better chance than Rodgers. I'd rather draft a quarterback next year, but we need to win now, meaning the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shedeur Sanders will not go down to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just like, if you're sitting at 21, I believe is where the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting are in this year's draft, right? He is not going to go past number 5 or number 10, 100%. Now, I am not saying that the Giants need a quarterback. I'm not saying that the Jets need a quarterback or the Browns or the Saints or the Raiders or whoever else is like up there, but we all get a little quarterback happy. We all got a little antsy. We all kind of need that quarterback, right? Can I get one of those quarterbacks? And it's going to happen. Mellow Mike says, I like Lance. He can talk good shit. Lance, like, what Lance are you referring to? Like, oh, Lance Zierlein. Okay, my bad. Yeah, he definitely holds his own. Pepe says, if Sanders goes to the Steelers, he is destined to finish 9-8 for his entire career. Pepe, you're not wrong. As long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach in Pittsburgh, they're going to go 9-8. Hey, they might get crazy. They might have an X factor year, go 10-7. But he will never be a losing quarterback. Right? Never be a losing quarterback. Let's Go Sports says he is good, but his arm strength is questionable. That is true as well. But I want you to go to his highlight film. He is playing against Nebraska. It's the third game of the season. I think it's the Nebraska game. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders is a right-handed quarterback, right? He is scrambling to his left. His body is facing the sideline. His chest is facing the sideline. I believe it's J.C. Horn or Jimmy Horn. It's Horn. It's Horn Jr. I don't know his first name. I can't remember if it's JC or Jimmy. But Horn Jr. is running a it appears to me like a big, long, and comeback route, right? So I don't know if Shedeur underthrew him and Horn come back to it, but it appeared that they were on the same page. Sanders is facing his chest toward the side line. He rotates the hips all in one motion, rockets it about 50 yards down the field. That is pure arm strength. That is pure talent. Now, he is not going to be able to throw a ball 80 yards into the wind, right? But he definitely has some arm talent, some arm skill. You cannot teach the pure athletic ability like that move was. Alpha Rob says he's going to be no. So Alpha Rob wants to say nope. Here, I got this new little thing. Let's see if it works here.
Alpha Rob says no, he's going to be too hype up for that to happen.
So I'm still kind of working on this little bot. Like I'm an amateur programmer on the side. So guys, like a little bit about me. I work IT. I nerd out about IT, and I've been working on this little bot. But Alpha Rob says no, he is going to be too hyped for that to happen. Meaning he's like his name is going to be too big. There's going to be so much hype around him to drop out of the top 10. And Alpha Rob, I do agree with you on that. Mellow Reich says the quarterback class sucks this year. Glad I have a quarterback. Guys, Mellow Mike is a Houston Texans fan. He is a CJ Stroud fan. He thinks CJ Stroud is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. Pepe says if Sanders goes to the Steelers, he is destined to be 9-8 for his ever career. Popped up again. But I agree with you. Let's Go Sports says, I'll be honest. Let's Go Sports says, let me break down the shield. Let me take my bias out of it. Let me be honest. I was a Jaden Daniels doubter. I'm disappointed in myself. But then Jaden Daniels proved me wrong. And I'm proud of him for that. I was super worried when they played him and glad we beat him. Listen, Jaden Daniels had a hell of a season last year. Now, obviously, we have film on him. Now, obviously, he's a little bit longer in the tooth. Now, this year's his proving ground, right? It's such thing as a sophomore slump. Let's see how he can go. Oh, man, Rivers of pigskin plenty, guys.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says Shedeur Sanders will go in the first 10. Shedeur Sanders will be a top 10 NFL buck. You're right. You're right, old man River. Mellow Mike says Sanders best embrace the suck. Pack your bags. You're going to Cleveland, baby. Oh, man. That is quarterback hell. Where is James Frank at? Somebody get James Frank on the horn. Somebody check his pulse, because there are two places in the NFL you do not want to go if you are a quarterback, especially a quarterback. One of them being the New York Football Giants or Jets. The second one being the Cleveland Browns. And Mike says, look, Shedeur Sanders is going number 2 overall. Hell, the Cleveland Browns might jump up to number 1 and get Shedeur Sanders just to make sure he comes to quarterback hell. Pepe says Colonel Sanders is going to get fried in Cleveland. Listen, guys, you all might be right. When we sit back here and we think of the Cleveland Browns, they're a dumpster of a fire team. Every time they have a little bit of a success, they try to kick in the door. They crack in the door. Baker Mayfield, like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, right? Kicked in the door. Took the Browns to the playoffs since the first time since like 1985 or whatever the hell it was. Went on the road and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in a wild card game. Everybody's saying Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, and what they do, they trade Baker Mayfield on and bring in Deshaun Watson. Oh, we got Deshaun Watson, baby. Let's go. Deshaun Watson played, like 10 games the last 3 years, whatever, 4 years it was. Yes, they did make the playoffs again a couple years ago with Joe Flacco on fifth string quarterback. But stop it. Cleveland is a dumpster fire of a team, of an organization. We need a G League just so the Cleveland Browns can suck in there too, but they're not on TV, sucking up the rest of the NFL brand. Let's Go Sports says, I don't know who his pro comparison is, but my guess would be like Justin Herbert or Bo Nix, meaning Shedeur Sanders. So the one thing that a lot of us are going to assume and see, and the average viewer, the average NFL guy that has never watched Shedeur Sanders play, what they're going to see is they're going to see, oh, a black quarterback, he has to have speed, he has to have scramble ability, he has to do this, and this, right? Justin Herbert has a hell of an arm. Hell of an arm. I don't think Shedeur Sanders matchups well our talent with Shedeur Sanders. Bo Nix might be spot on because Bo Nix does have that strongish arm. He can make those deep throws if he has to. He would prefer not to. He doesn't have great scrambling ability. And I think, given some time of whatever team Shedeur Sanders goes to, give him some time, we are going to see him start to step up and challenge whatever head coach is there, much like Bo Nix did with Sean Payton in Denver. So if there is a comparison, Bo Nix and Shedeur Sanders, Let's Go Sports, you might be spot on. I like your analysis. I like where your head is at right there. That is a good comparison. Mellow Mike says Tent McMillan wishes he was a quarterback. That drop wouldn't be that far. Unless he get a safety net being ready. Probably. I'm just afraid to draft a fantasy, to get antsy with drafting a quarterback with that happened with Kenny Pickett. Terrible quarterback class. He was a first off the board for quarterbacks at 20 and failed. Purdy has been the only good quarterback. Yeah, the class of 2020 is pretty rough, right? However, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in kind of a favorable situation. For one, Shedeur Sanders is not going to fall to 21. Let's just put that out there. Jackson Dart is not going to fall to 21 either. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to draft a quarterback, it's going to be in the 4th or 3rd round with Will Howard or Milroe. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest that Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh. Let's just be honest. You still have Mason Rudolph. I don't anticipate the Steelers drafting a quarterback on day 1 or day 2. Fellow Reich saying you don't like football. That downright un-American. You say you don't like film. That's just dumb. I like it. I like it a lot. I think Shedeur is a good kid and wants to compete, but watching him and listening to him a little, I think he gets caught up in the money. I've watched this. I watched Silo, his older brother, YouTube vlogs, and I see it. So Shedeur, people in this world are a product of their environment. I see it in my sister a lot, right? So my sister has 3 sets of friends, right? She has her black friends, she has her work friends, which are mainly white, and then she has her like family friends, right? When she hangs out repetitively with these sets of friends over here, she would come home and she would have this little twang in her voice, like just like a little bit of swagger and a little she was just annoying as fuck, right? Let's just be honest. I'm gonna call you out, sister. You are annoying as fuck. And then she would come out and hang out with the family, and then all of a sudden she would become proper again, and she would have a southern twang, and then like stop it. So what I'm saying is maybe Shedeur Sanders is a product of that system. Maybe being around the Coach Prime thing and Shiloh and Deion Sanders, is it senior, junior, right? Being around that family, being around the money, being around the fame and the vlogs, and having to put on a act for the camera. Maybe once he separates himself from that, goes to New York, goes to Cleveland. Cleveland might be a perfect spot for him. Now the limelight is no longer on you. Maybe, just maybe, he will change and become a professional guy. Maybe, just maybe, he will all of a sudden become a Southern accent type of person. Maybe, just maybe, he won't, quote, act so black. Maybe. And Mellow Mike says, Sanders probably compares to Geno Smith the best. Ugh, that's harsh, baby. That's harsh. Old Man River
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
says Nix is the better quarterback than Sanders. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get too crazy. I do remember Bo Nix throwing for like 117 yards versus the New York Jets in a loss, right? So let's just not get crazy about that. We'll see what Bo Nix does his sophomore year, and let's see Shedeur Sanders as a NFL pro, right? Let's Go Sports says debatable, but I think I made a good comparison with it. I see what you're saying with Nix, though, being better, though. Let's Go Sports is calling out Old Man River. Old Man River. And Real McCoy says, let's just be honest. Let's be 100% honest with ourselves. He says, if Sanders had a different last name, he would get lost in the shuffle, get lost in the sauce. Maybe in 2024 in an NFL draft, yes. But this 2025 NFL draft, he's a second or third ranked quarterback, no matter his name, right? Let's just call a spade a spade.